So I have to say, I thought we were a little bit farther along with the Galaxy A56's camera. Stay tuned. Alright everyone, hopefully you guys are having a good day. Hopefully everyone is safe out here. We have the Galaxy A56 5G in the house, and I have so many gripes about this camera. We're going to talk about that in this video though. So I've been using this device for a few weeks now. We have a Sony sensor in here for the camera, by the way. If you guys did not know, I believe it's the IMX906. So we have a Sony sensor, contrary to the Galaxy A26. That device actually has a JN1 sensor, so it's an in-house Samsung sensor they're using for that camera. So I feel like overall this is going to have brighter photos and it's going to have a little bit more contrast as far as the rear-facing camera goes. We'll get more on that in the comparison later on this week. But overall, I was really expecting more out of this camera, to be quite honest. But first and foremost, let's go ahead and take a look at some of the specifications about this camera. The rear-facing cameras, of course, we're going to have a triple camera setup. Our main camera is going to be a 50 megapixel wide angle camera. Our secondary is going to be a 12 megapixel ultra wide. And our third is going to be a 5 megapixel macro. And we are going to be capable of recording at 4K at 30 frames per second or up to 1080p at 60 frames per second. Biggest part of this video is going to have to do with the video. We're going to talk about that in a second. As far as our selfie camera goes, we have a 12 megapixel selfie camera right here. That's going to be capable of wide angle mode as well. We're going to go up to 4K at 30 frames per second. And that is what we're going to see inside of here. If we go into the camera application, of course, we can shoot with our 12 megapixel lens or our 50 megapixel lens. We have portrait mode. We have fun mode for those Snapchat filters. Of course, for a video, let me go ahead and verify this real quick for you guys. We can shoot up to 4K at 30 frames per second. And in the more mode right here, of course, we have Bixby Vision. We have our Pro mode, Pro Video, Night mode, Food, Panorama, Macro, Slow Motion, Hyperlapse, Dual Record, and Single Take inside of here. So that's a little quick tour for the camera application right here. And overall, I feel like we have a pretty clean and organized UI inside of that little camera right there, running, I believe, Android 15 UI 7.0. So overall, the software experience of this has been pretty decent. My biggest gripe, though, has been the judder in the video. Now, it seems like they can't get over this, and I always feel like it's a playback issue, but when I'm playing this video, I'm going to show you right now in a second, this phone stutters so much in the video aspect of stuff. Now, the 1080p 60 frame per second video looks good. It looks very stabilized, which is something that is really weird because I think it's a lot harder to get better stabilization out of 60 than 30 frames per second, but the UHD on here is very shaky, and you're going to see in a second. It judders, it shudders, it stutters, whatever you want to call it. It stutters, and the Full HD 1080p 30 frames per second stutters as well. So those are the two biggest gripes about this phone's camera I do not like. We're going to show you those first. Everything else, though, has been good. I feel like the front-facing camera for selfies and stuff like that has been good. You know, even the front-facing video is much better than the rear-facing video on here, which you'll see in a second. It's really weird, honestly. I thought they would do a better job in terms of the 1080p 30 frames per second video, just because I feel like more people use that mode, so it's more important, right? But overall, I feel like the photos that we got on here are decent, and I feel like, of course, if you're getting this device for $349, it's going to be justified. But as far as the people in the United States out here, you know, this phone, if it does, by a miracle, when it releases in the United States, it drops at $399. I still think there are better phones out there at the price tag that have better video on there. So video is really, really important to you. You may want to go for another phone and not the Galaxy A56. This has many great things inside of it, but it cannot do 1080p 30 frames per second or UHD 30 frames per second well at all. I thought we were farther along with the mid-range devices. But overall, if you guys are only taking photos and stuff like that, I feel like the photos are decent. They look good. The majority of people are going to be pleased out there. But yeah, video does not look good, and we'll take a look at that rear-facing video right now. Let's go ahead and take a look at it. Next up, Full HD at 30 frames per second. And this is what we're getting out of this device so far. Now we have a rear facing camera, UHD, so 4K 30 frames per second. And this is how everything is looking so far. Not too bad. I'm hoping the stabilization looks good in post. But let me know what you guys think. Next up, full HD 60 frames per second. Not looking too bad. The stabilization is looking pretty good too. It feels like it has improved from the Galaxy A55, so something good to see. So what we're looking at though. And we also have UHD at 30 frames per second on the Galaxy A56. And this is how this is looking as well. Let's go ahead and walk around, give you guys a little bit of a walk and talk. One thing about this device, for some reason on the front facing camera, there is no 60 frames per second to be found. So that's not gonna be on here. But the 30 is just good enough. I know a lot of the mid-range phones have trouble with stabilization and things like that when you get into the 60 frames per second. So yeah, this UHD looks really, really crisp. Really, really nice looking. All right, everyone, so we have full HD 30 frames per second on the Galaxy A56. We are in the bright California sun right now, and this is how this is looking currently. Let me know what you guys think. This definitely looks very solid. I was looking at the Motorola Edge 2025 edition right now, and we're gonna put those phones head to head, but this is looking better. This is looking a lot better for some reason. I think it's a software issue though, so yeah, looking good so far. So as you guys saw, we were seeing some stuttering in the 1080p 30 FPS and the UHD 30 FPS. Is this a deal breaker for you guys? Because that's a really big gripe for me, especially for somebody that creates content. If you guys are vloggers or if you make reels or you just want to have the best quality for your past memories inside of your device, you may want to get something a little bit better, to be quite honest. But overall, as far as the photos go, I think the photos look great. The selfie videos look fine. And even weirdly enough, the 1080p 60 frames per second, as I said, looks good too. It looks better than the 30 FPS. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. That was my camera review on the Galaxy A56. If you have any questions, leave them in the comment section down below. Hopefully you guys have a beautiful rest of your day. Peace out, Tech Gang.